I know the past few days haven't been pretty at all, and it's mainly because there's a project that was discussed on the channel some time ago. So I introduced a project called DEFI, where I explain what they're about. Of course, as usual, I don't post links. I don't encourage people to invest. They have to do the decisions by themselves. All right. So I just lay out the groundwork basically. And they looked promising. Unfortunately, the owners of the project fucked up. Now, it could be an inside job. I don't know. There's a lot of evidence here and there. I might do a follow-up on this, but we'll see. And also, the follow-up is that green figures took low emotional intelligence measures and they decided to put an announcement where the main trader said a few things that spooked many investors and they requested withdrawals. Now they retracted that statement, but let's see how things develop from here. Now it's shambles, you know, like all of these similar types of projects are reaching a point where they don't know what they're doing, and this is where we have to draw the line. Now, before going any further, today I'm going to discuss about a project called SummitVentures that isn't exactly similar, but there are many similar traits, and to some extent it's in the same niche. All right, so will this one be any different? Let's find out. I have been following these guys from the shadows for a while now, because they didn't, you know, go hard on exposure. They started small, and based on what I'm about to show you, you can clearly see that they're trying to test things out. So they're trying to test the waters before actually jumping the gun. Now, one thing to understand is that there's no guarantee in this niche, at least so far, because people are using centralized exchanges to do these trades, leveraging bots, brokerages, and so on. But at the end of the day, they cannot really post live trades or open trades because they don't want people to front run them. You know, that's how it is in general. And that's very acceptable. And because of this, the lack of on-chain presence is something that spooks a lot of people. So at the end of the day, there needs to be this team that performs these things. They need to keep their head, you know, as cool as they can, and they cannot be dragged in the drama of DeFi in general, or not specifically DeFi, because this isn't really DeFi per se. Let's call it this DeFi trading niche, all right? Leveraging sexes. So with that being said, I'm gonna quickly give you the setup first of SummitVentures. So the TLDR here is that they have a total of 30 trading bots set up. You know, they trade both commodities and the Forex market. Now, again, there's no real way to verify the existence of 30 trading bots, but let's just take their words for now. So they do tell you that because the Forex/commodity markets, they open up 5 days a week. So during the week, there isn't much liquidity for withdrawals because they need that money to trade on the market, correct? So during the weekend, when the market closed, then they have more liquidity. Unless they have open trades, then in this case, they don't have as much. So their aim here, after testing from 2021, so they have a separate page in their link tree where they show you when they started testing the bots, the improvements of their algorithm, so on and so forth. Now, again, this is all written information, but to vet this 100%, I cannot really tell you, all right? So always take anything you read with a grain of salt, but always also keep an open mind. So they were live, or they went live 193 days ago, but their testings and their results started back in 21. So they posted many screenshots explaining how they started, how much they were making, so on and so forth. So their goal is to keep at least a 3% weekly yield on top of the liquidity that they have. So that's the goal. So they want to keep producing that yield, and so far, based on their average, they've been doing 3 to 6%. So that's basically how much they've been doing, and the goal is to keep those results coming in. So if they have much higher weeks, for example, if they can go up to 10% on 1 week and they drop back down to 1% or even lose a bit, then averagely they're still within the range. All right. Few technical stuff you should also be aware of. There's a 1.5% deposit fee. You know the drill, all right? You know the drill with all these platforms. There is a 15% performance fee, meaning the profits they make, they take 15% out of those profits. And there is a 1% referral bonus. So if you get somebody in, you get 1% of their deposits. So those are pretty trivial things. There aren't much, but they exist. The main thing to understand is that because they operate on performance fees, so it's in their best interest to generate profits. So the lock period that exists as well is 60 days. You know why? Because they need to move funds in and out. But if you decide to go early, then you have to take the 20% cut on your principal. So these are things that, again, they exist everywhere, and then to some extent they make sense unless they're too extreme. But one thing that I noticed when I was looking at things in their docs and how they're doing things in general, now you could argue that with every new project around the block, I mean, they're not new, but still new in terms of their liquidity. So the money they possess is not, I think it's about 300k right now. Last time I checked, it's a bit less actually. So they're still novice in terms of available liquidity, whereas Green Figures has about 1 million and Delta Ventures reached about 1 million before everything started to go to shit. So now a basic assumption, and again, that's not 100% confirmed, but the basic assumption here is that most of these dApps, they leverage a method or a strategy called martingale. Now, if you're not familiar with the strategy here, it's basically similar to gambling. So people go in, they make an entry, and if they lose on that entry and the price drops, they double down on the price drop, and they keep doing so until there's a reversal, and then they close all the positions at a certain high top. So at the end of the day, in most cases, they either break even or make a small profit. So that is the strategy in general that most of the dApps use or leverage. Now, SummitVentures, in their docs, they claim that they're using another type of strategy called scalping, leveraging what is called fundamental analysis. So scalping overall, or small scale scalping, is when you take advantage of small price movements, over a very short period of time. So you enter big, the price tweaks a bit, then you either sell or buy, and then you rinse and repeat the process. So that is the strategy. Now, what is implemented? So when are the entries timed, so on and so forth, and this is where the fundamental part comes in. So fundamental analysis in general pulls out macroeconomic news, macroeconomic data, related news in the world, political news, market condition, industry trends. So all of these things are executed in and factored in. Also, technical analysis come into play when it comes to combining the two, and then they would perform their trades. And they claim that there's about 100 to 200 short-term trades being executed per week, all right? So this is how they set up their 30 bots. So this is how things are. And in general, they try as much as they can to either exit or enter within this short time frame, even though they could make some losses, they could incur some losses, just because they don't want to, let the full broad market dictate their positions and pull them back in, or take away all the profits that they would be generating on certain positions. So it's very important to understand how this method works. Now, this is, again, those are the methods that they claim they're using and the strategies they're leveraging. And right now, when I'm gonna hop on the Telegram, you could clearly see, by looking at the screenshots, that the entry price and the exit price have little to no difference between both. So that solidifies the idea of small scale scalping, all right? And one last thing in regards to their AI algorithm is that they want to also introduce something called sentiment analysis. And that means that in the markets in general, there's a lot of sentiment that deviates from greed to fear, between both, etc. So they also want to take advantage in the future, apparently, of such variables that aren't, something that are straightforward, or it's not something really easy to factor in, but that's what they mentioned and that's what they claim. All right, so overall, at the end of it, you have a few things to keep in mind. All right, first, like I said, everything written should be taken with a grain of salt. Second, the trading strategy so far checks in with whatever they're posting. So if you go to the Telegram group right now, you can clearly see, by the way, they made a recent announcement. They said they revamped the website. I'll post a link to the Telegram below as well as the link tree so you can check all the information to validate everything yourself. So they know that everything that's been going around with other projects could affect their performance, but they wanted to put it out there that they're keeping their head straight, so they're gonna keep going and they're gonna be as transparent as possible. So that is something that we'd like to see, honestly. Third, the trading strategies, like I said, are something that you cannot really 100% confirm. Now, the fact that they're trading is something that is pseudo-confirmed, so to speak, so that exists. The history of the trades, again, you cannot really verify, so you have to take their words for it. And the algorithm of the AI trading bots, which is their own, by the way, according to their own words, it's not something that they pulled out from a third party, tradingbots.me, 3commas, so on and so forth. It's their own. So if we will have more insight, information on these things, for example, how they function, or the validity of their existence, that would also be cool. I hope in the future AMAs that they will be doing, they will provide this information, but again, remains to be seen. So conclusion, this is everything you know right now, and sorry, I will cut the conclusion for a sec. I will go to the trade history just to confirm whatever I was saying in regards to entry price and exit price. You can clearly see that the difference here is quite small. The profits are small, but if there's multitudes of them, then at the end of the day, it's much better than, you know, going all in on some trade and hoping to hit the jackpot. It never works out that way. So, conclusion, this is everything. This is the groundwork of the project itself. Go study it more. And if you're willing to take the risk once again in a similar project, then go ahead and do so. Like I said, I don't do referral links. I'm not going to do that. You have to make that decision yourself. You have to judge by yourself if you are willing to take in the risk once more and enter a similar type of project which isn't technically similar. All right. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Telegram, personal, or on our official public main channel. Link is below. There's a lot of good, decent, matured investors in that group. We discuss everything DeFi and crypto. If you're somebody who likes to listen to these topics, give their opinion, learn new things and learn about new things, consider entering. All right, it's a cool place to hang out. See you there. And with that, see you in the next one. Have a good one.